Hi, everybody. Share the link. Good night. Good night. Share the link to everybody. Share the link. 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 I'll be back. All right. Keep sharing the link, everybody. I'll be brief. Share the link. Share the link. Share the link. Good afternoon, Miss Roberts. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Let me see. Hello, Lorraine Garnett. Good night. Where are you watching from? Marlon Thomas. Hi, Marlon. Mr. Vibert White. Good evening. Good evening, Miss Day, Corinne Day, Bernadette Guyana, Corinne. Good night. Jason Downer, Antigua. Big up Antigua. Share the link, everybody. John Bourne. Huh? Share the link, everybody. Hello, Miss Tappin. Shondell Todd, Providence. Good night. Heath Cox. Good night. Esther Blue or Blue. Good night. Good night. Share the link, everybody. Edna Richards, Long Island. We're in Long Island. Here's a twit. Kim Walker. Good night. 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 Share the link. Share the link. Share the link. John Josiah, Brooklyn. Sorry. Ann Josiah, Brooklyn. Keith, you're in Montserrat. Wow. Say hi to the folks in Montserrat. Vibert, Guyana. Barbados. Miss Allen, I see you. Share the link, 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 share the link. I'm going to start when we get a few more hundred people. Hello, Michelle. You watching from Guyana? Paula Henry, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio in the house. Good night, Paula. Paul. AD. What going on, girl? How is Pennsylvania? London in the house. Nigel Price. Good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. Share the link, everybody. Denise Mitchell, Region 1. Wow. Yeah, Brian Clark. Share the link, everybody. All right. So I wanted to specifically respond to Irfaan Ali and his sycophants, these racists in the ethnic media. Yesterday, Ali, keep sharing the link, everybody. Ali had a press gavel, I think, at probably the convention center. And during that coddle with the press. He made some astounding remarks. He claimed that when he met Congressman Hakeem Jeffries in Trinidad and Tobago, he spoke to the congressman. He claims in the presence of other leaders, and told him that the narrative that he had, the misleading narrative, and he sought to correct the misleading narrative he had on Guyana. That is amazing. Keep sharing the link, everybody. It is amazing. Irfaan Ali has proven to the international community, proven to members of the Congressional Black Caucus, proven to the region that he's a liar. The man is a liar. Ali briefly met the congressman on the sidelines of the CARICOM Heads of Government Conference in Trinidad and Tobago, where the congressman and 6 other members of Congress attended in honor of CARICOM's 50th independence anniversary at the invitation of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley. What is most interesting is the language Ali sought to use. Condescending, offensive language, consistent with the kind of language racists use to disparage Black people. He said he wants to educate the congressman about Guyana, as if the congressman is not knowledgeable about Guyana. The congressman has thousands of Guyanese and Caribbean Americans living in his district. And it is laughable for a dunce like Irfaan Ali to purport to want to educate one of the most educated, intelligent, and in fact, unquestionably, one of the most brilliant minds in Washington, D.C. and the United States. The contempt that the ethnic types in the PPP, like Ali and Jagdeo and the others, the contempt they demonstrate for Black people. And the fact that they now seek to embarrass themselves by exporting their racism to the United States, to attack the highest ranking Democrat in the United States Congress. It's appalling. It's nauseous to think that Ali, who's a complete dunce, would want to educate a man who's a graduate of Binghamton University, graduated at the top of his class, went on to Georgetown University, graduated, as we say, with the distinctions, with a master's degree in public policy, and then went on to one of the most prestigious law schools in the country and the world, New York University. It's laughable. Irfaan Ali can hardly read and pronounce simple words in the English language. He could even pronounce reparations at the United Nations. Made himself a fool in front of the world. A man who purports to have degrees when he never graduated from college, wants to educate one of the most brilliant minds, one of the most academically accomplished politicians in Washington, D.C. It is amazing, but we shouldn't dismiss it as a joke. What it is a continuation of their demonstration of contempt for Black people and Black leaders who they perceive to be against them or oppose them or who criticize them. And what we see unfolding in Guyana is they're enabled, they're emboldened because they're not challenged by some of the diplomats in Guyana, like, for instance, the American ambassador. I'm going to say something very profound. You know, we just had a visit by the United States Secretary of State in Guyana. And it seems to me that some people in the Biden administration seem to think that U.S. interest trumps the well-being, trumps the state of democracy, trumps PPP racism in Guyana, and they're not willing to speak out against it. And those of us who are leaders in this country will have to start criticizing people like Tony Blinken, people in the State Department, people like Ambassador Sarah Lynch, who continue to take Black people in Guyana for granted. And I make bold to say that Afro-Guyanese and African Americans in the United States and Caribbean Americans in the United States know the plight of Black people in Guyana. And we will continue to make them aware of the plight of Black people in Guyana. That the People's Progressive Party wants to enslave Black people and have been acting as though Black people are second-class citizens in their own country. And I think the Biden administration will have to be held accountable. The funny thing about it is that Anthony Blinken doesn't have to face the voters. Biden and Harris do. And so when we look at states with large Guyanese populations like Florida, like Georgia, states that are marginal states are what we call swing states, the Biden administration will have to be held accountable. Don't come to the Black people in Georgia, which is a crucial state, or in Arizona, to tell us about how you're interested in Black people when you have a large Caribbean diaspora, a large Guyanese diaspora, with relatives back home who are subjected to racism that some of these white people in the Biden administration, like Tony Blinken and others, pretend to care about. And I want to send this message loud and clear to Guyanese all across America, especially Guyanese in Georgia, Caribbean Americans in Georgia, Caribbean Americans in Florida. This is how we have to pressure this administration. I mean, Tony Blinken is aware that the PPP is a racist government. Persons in the State Department, the Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs know that the PPP is a racist government. Sarah Lynch knows that the PPP is a racist government, but they choose to ignore the plight of Black people in Guyana because of probably their own cultural inclinations. And it's unacceptable to us. So the fact that Irfaan Ali and his racist sycophants in the ethnic media, Guyana Times, Newsroom, the fact that they can be so openly racist against the first African American leader in Congress, points to some sort of entitlement that these people think that they're entitled to be racist in Guyana. They think they're entitled to be racist, and they think that they are entitled to take their racism against Black people internationally who are opposed to them or who speak out against their racism. And it means that we will have to now lock arms with people of like mind in this country and fight them. You know, we are from Brooklyn, and those people in Brooklyn know if you come after any of our politicians in Brooklyn, you come after the entire Brooklyn. And the disrespect that ragtag entities like Newsroom and Guyana Times, the contempt they're showing for Black leaders in this country, inherited from people like Barra Jagden and Irfaan, should be met with full repudiation. Full repudiation. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my mind around a decided dunce, an absolute dunce, an unlearned buffoon who happened to have been placed in a position where he's now installed as a head of state, can publicly be so disparaging of an American leader, Black American leader, where he can says that that leader needs to be educated, is shocking, appalling. I mean, the condescension from this buffoon, the condescension. I mean, I'm trying to wrap my mind around the fact that this man thinks that he's some sort of superior being to Hakeem Jeffries, with whom he is incomparable. I mean, Irfaan Ali cannot even compare himself to Hakeem Jeffries' toilet paper. Not even his toilet paper. He's not even at the level of the man's toilet paper. But this racist, because he thinks that he has arrived because he is the installed head of state of an oil nation, and they can squander taxpayers' dollars to hire, keep sharing the link, everybody. They can squander taxpayers' dollars to hire lobbyists and get these Republicans to back them and get people like Congressman Gregory Meeks. Keep sharing the link, keep sharing the link. That they think they have to support Gregory Meeks, to support them, that they think they have arrived. And when compared with other people in the world, Irfaan Ali is nobody. Went to the United Nations. Every time he goes abroad, he embarrasses Guyana. Look at his dress. He looks like a comedian. He's like a walking circus. He cannot speak. He cannot read properly. His grammar is atrocious. But he is the head of state of an oil nation. And he's a racist East Indian from the PPP. So he thinks that he could be condescending. And like I said, I've always said that I'm sure that there are people in the PPP who are not racist, and not every East Indian in Guyana is a racist. But I'm sure the leadership of the PPP are racists. And we must confront them. We must confront them. We must never allow these people to project superiority, ethnic superiority in Guyana. And then to come internationally to try to project ethnic superiority against the top Democrat in the United States Congress. If Hakeem Jeffries was a white man, if Hakeem Jeffries was a white man, that dunce, Irfaan Ali, that dunce would never have made those kinds of disparaging, condescending comments. They worship white people, those racists in the PPP. Their disrespect is towards black people. And so every time they do it, we'll beat them into the ground. We'll beat them into the ground. They're getting bolder and bolder in their racism because they have enablers, black people in Guyana, house slaves. And some people are telling me I must not use the term house slave because it's really demeaning or whatever it is. Well, when I see black people who support the PPP speaking out about their racism, speaking out about their condescension, I would respect them. I would respect them. Until then, I will continue to say they're house slaves. Because I can see African Guyanese sitting in the PPP, calling themselves either associates or members of the PPP, and allowing them to disrespect black people. At the end of the day, I'm Guyanese, but I'm a black man first. I'm not racist, but I represent my race. Because in Guyana, the ethnic types, the Jagdeos and the Alis, have no respect for black people. I want people to get that in their mind, in their psyche. I don't care how much overtures they make to black people. I don't care how much payoff, inducements, and bribes they give to black people to stand with them, to camouflage their racism. They are racist to the core. It is innate, it is congenital, and it's permanent. They can't hide it. No matter how they try to hide it, they can't hide it. Those people are racist to the core. They're born like that. It is congenital. It is hereditary. Not all of them, but it is what is demonstrated to me. What is demonstrated to me in the leadership of the PPP. So I just wanted to register my strong contempt, my strong disregard, my strong condemnation, my strong denunciation of Irfaan Ali. And also to denounce the American leaders, these white people. I make bold to say it, we live in this country. The white folks who enable racist East Indians in the PPP to be racist towards black people. I denounce them as well. I denounce them as well. It gotta stop. And we are not afraid to speak. And lastly, before I go, I want to speak to the fact that the PPP is attempting to get the ethnic relation, or using the Guyana Police Force and the Ethnic Relations Commission to try to regulate the speech of Guyanese in the diaspora, Guyanese abroad, in London, United States. Listen, let me send a clear message to the Ethnic Relations Commission. Let me send a very clear message to the Ethnic Relations Commission, the members of the Ethnic Relations Commission. Your jurisdiction is Guyana. You're going to regulate the speech of black people abroad. I see that they wrote Dr. David Hines, who lives in Arizona, and they wrote Norman Brown, who lives in the United Kingdom, telling them something about their speech, or in Dr. Hines' case, they want to have the police investigate him because he did not denounce some purported criticism of the PPP on his show. My message to Dr. Hines is ignore those fools. My message to Norman Brown is to ignore the fools on the Ethnic Commission and exercise your free speech rights to which you're entitled as a British citizen. And Dr. Hines, to which he's entitled as a United States citizen. When you touch one, you touch all. So when you go after Dr. Hines, you go after me, and you go after all of us. Because what we notice is that they're trying to use the police force to silence us. These racists in the PPP, the autocrats, they want to use the Ethnic Relations Commission. Well, they had the Ethnic Relations Commission write me once to tell me something about what I said. And I wrote the Ethnic Relations Commission back and told them to go to hell. In the official response, I told them to go to hell. And that's what everybody in the diaspora should tell them. Belittle them, condemn them, be condescending to the Ethnic Relations Commission. They don't regulate our speech. We live in America. Free speech is guaranteed by the US Constitution. And no racist in the PPP government or the Ethnic Relations Commission shall tell us what to say. Barjack there, when the Ethnic Relations Commission are finally, you can try that with the people in Guyana. But don't come to the black people abroad who are speaking out and tell them what to say and what they can't say. Go to hell with that nonsense. So my encouragement to all of the people in the diaspora is publicly disparage and demonstrate contempt for the Ethnic Relations Commission. Contempt. Condemn them. Guyana is not a communist society where you think you're going to intimidate black people who speak out against you because you can't control their speech and you can't control what they say in the diaspora. Then regulate the internet in Guyana so they don't have to see if that's what you want. If you don't want people to speak out against you, regulate the internet in Guyana. But don't tell us what to say because we will say what we want. If we feel you're a racist, you're a racist. If we feel you should be condemned for it, we say that, condemn you for your racism. And by the way, apparently the Ethnic Relations Commission is only a commission that regulates the speech of black people. Because I see all across the internet, all across social media, Indian supporters of the PPP attacking black people using the most vicious and disparaging names. And we don't hear anything from the Ethnic Relations Commission. So let the Ethnic Relations Commission go to hell. Let the Ethnic Relations Commission go to hell. All right? So that's what I would say to Dr. Hines and to wow, some bugs out here biting me. To Dr. Hines and to Norman Brown in London, ignore these people. Ignore these people. But that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to come out today and demonstrate my contempt for the comments of Irfaan Ali. Absolute contempt. Can't educate nobody. He has no education. He's unlearned. Right? Has no ability to educate anybody. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all for listening. Wow, thousands of you. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock for Conversation with Rickford Burke. Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend, everybody.